trial balance is nothing but a summary of accounts. So here we have three different modes, options. One is summary of the GL accounts, as you can rightly see. Other is you can have a summary of customers, okay, that is all the customers. Then you can have a summary of suppliers or employees also, right? Now the special feature is that when you are taking the summary of a GL account, you can have selective account groups, right? So let's say if you want to take out the summary of the administrative expenses only, right? You can have the administrative expenses only, right? So that is one, let's say selective summary. Then you have the from date and date, from date to date. So the period that which you want to check out the trial balance. Okay, the columns that are shown here is the account group, that is the schedule, as is referred to. Then the account name, that is the name of the account. Opening balance, debit amount, credit amount. Now this debit amount and credit amount is the period debit total and the period credit total, right? And then you have the closing balance, right? You also have a link. Now when you click on the link, you can actually view the ledger, okay? So if you are interested, let's say if you want to check out any particular account, the details of that account, so when you click on this link, you can, let's say, get the you can get to see the ledger. So it is kind of a zooming effect, right? So here you can see the ledger. Then the advantage is it's better than the zooming, because you can have multiple ledgers open at simultaneously, right? So you have one ledger, then you have another ledger, or whatever, right? So that is how this works. So you have ledger, the zooming of this ledger itself, right? So that is one advantage here you get. Then here I'll talk about the options. Okay, when you click on the options, right, you click on the additional options, so you have a lot of options that you can see here. Okay, now coming to I'll talk about separate group, subgroup columns, right? So when you have let's say when the space is not a constraint, because the width is not a constraint, so you can show the separate group columns. Here you see the assets. First of all, here you have assets and liabilities and expenses, etc., etc. Right, this is the account type. Then in that, the account group, it's also known as schedule, right, is also shown here. And then you have the account name and the column, right? In case you are interested in a more compact version, right? So you can show separate. I mean, you can disable this, and in that case, the entire grouping and subgrouping is merged into the in a single column, right? So that is how it works. Then you have show group, subgroup, summary, right? Now this is a very important feature. Now at the end of this report, like we have created a group and subgroup summary total, right? So whatever the report, the entire trial balance, the summary of the trial balance is printed, is shown at the bottom, right? So as you have, let's say, account receivable, the bank account and all that, so only the summary is shown at the end, right? That is if you have enabled that, in case you want that. So a summary you can also print out, okay? Then you have the show income. Now these show income, expenses, assets and liabilities, okay? These are options that when you want to see only partial trial balance, right? So when you select only income, right, or only expenses, then you can see only those particular blocks, right? Then show opening balance columns, right? In case you are not interested in the opening balance, so you can switch this off, and if you switch this off, the report becomes more compact, and that is you have you eliminate the opening balance column, right? Then you have show compact balances. Now compact balances meaning in case you have some mismatch in the opening balances, debit, credit or something, then you can disable this, and when you disable this, the balances, like you have a separate debit open balance and separate credit opening balance, okay? and similarly the separate debit closing and credit closing balances, right? So they are separate, right? So if you want to show compact, so then you can select compact one, and then you have only one opening balance, one closing balance column, right? Uh, Now there is a important aspect that is of provisional transactions. So in the reference we have included the concept of provisional transactions. So when you select this provisional transaction, then what happens? The JVs, the journals that have been passed as provisional, is included in the trial balance. Okay, so this is something which could be useful. The entire concept, you can look up the documentation of the provisional transactions. Then in case you are interested, then you can show the voucher type. So when you show the voucher type, you have a detail in the voucher type also, right? In the ledger itself, right? Then this is the final thing, the very important aspect, that is the save trial balance. Now this trial balance, when you save the trial balance, so what happens is we have a separate doc type in which a snapshot of the trial balance, of the existing trial balance, is saved, right? Now this snapshot could be used for various purposes. So we have created a separate reporting section in as financial reports, and in this we use the snapshots of the trial balances which were saved earlier, right? So that could come in very handy when you want to compare, let's say, trial balance or balance sheets or something of different periods, right? So this is the saved trial balance structure. Then you have the show account details. Like when you show account details, then I'll show you right now. Let's say when you print this thing, so you have the so this is how it looks. Okay. Now in case you want to see the ledgers also, under certain circumstances you may want to see the ledger. So there, if when you switch this off, okay, what you get is you get a completely a trial balance with the ledger details in the column itself. Right? So that could come in very handy.